Hi everyone and welcome back to the Crafty Maker podcast. This is a podcast all about knitting and crochet and living a crafty life. So it's been a few weeks since I podcast last. Life got a bit crazy around here with kids going to school, and I had a birthday, and just life trying to get back to normal basically. But yeah, I've done quite a fair amount of knitting, to be honest. I don't have it all here with me, but yeah, we shall carry on with the knitting. If I didn't mention, I am Katie. I am Katie Winwood 89 over on Instagram. I am the Crafty Maker over on Etsy, and I am KTG19892 over on Ravelry. There is also a podcast group for this podcast. It's the Crafty Maker podcast over on Ravelry. So please go and join, because there's only me over there at the moment, and it's all lonely by myself. So if you'd like to come and join me, go over and join. In the new year, there are going to be certain changes to the podcast, with hopefully knit-alongs and different things going along. But yeah, hi everyone, how are we? I completely forgot where I was. I had a new mug, which I am deadly in love with. So as I said, it was my birthday about 3 weeks ago, and I treated myself to a new mug. And this all changes colour when it gets hot and stuff, and it's got the Night's Watch and Game of Thrones written on it. But it is a giant mug, look at the size of that. So yeah, I have been a busy little bee, knitting away, and I've even had some time to do a little bit of crochet, which is unheard of for me the last few weeks. I got roped into helping crochet some poppies, because it's, as this will go up, it's Remembrance Day on the 11th of November on the Sunday. So I got roped into helping to decorate my pub by crocheting poppies. So yeah, I was a busy little bee, and the first thing I actually knit was a pair of mittens for my friend's baby. But I don't have them because I gave them to her. But I shall insert a picture, or it's on my Ravelry project page. But yeah, they were just grey mittens on an I-cord string. And then I finished, I was quite proud of this because I'd never done this before. I did a colourwork hat. So there you go. This is the Nordic hat by Anne Mizuguchi. Apologise if I have fluffed your name up. This is this fits my 6-year-old, and he has got a giant head. And yeah, this was my first ever stranded colourwork project, and I knit it using 3mm, 3.5mm for the rib, and I used a 4mm for the rest of it, and I did it double stranded. So I had my contrast colour and my main colour in different hands, because I can knit English and continental, although I'm not very good at continental anymore. But yeah, it took a lot of getting used to and a lot of swearing, but I did it finally, and I think it looks awesome. But yeah, Harry picked the colours. Harry wanted green because that's his favourite colour, and he wanted green, and it's all just like little crosses with like diamond shapes in between. And I thought this was a really easy pattern to follow, because it's only a 4-stitch chart, and obviously it's quite intuitive where you are, because you just, as long as you're paying attention at the last 4 stitches and the first 4 stitches, I think it's easy. because all you have to do is count to 4. But yeah, he loves this. I've pinched it off him so obviously I could show it. And it fits his head lovely, although I probably could have done the decreases a little bit slower to give him a little bit more room, but that's fine, it doesn't matter. But yeah, he absolutely loves this. This is knit out of Surdor Snuggly in the DK, in just their grey, and it's like a foresty green colour. And I know you're all going to ask me to see my floats, so there are all my floats. And obviously because it's only a 4-stitch repeat, you don't need to twist them, so which was another plus. But I think I did really well considering my tension wasn't that great, and it's been a success. It does make me want to start knitting more colour work and obviously get better at it, but I am very, very proud of myself. I started this year in 2018 saying that I was going to do stranded colour work, and I've done it. So that's one off my bucket list that I've done. The other one was lace, and I have done a lace project earlier this year. I knit a lace cardigan for Ian's niece. So yeah, that was my first project. Oh, sorry about that. I just had a random sneezing attack for no apparent reason. Right, so that was my second thing that I'd finished in the last 5 weeks since I podcast. And then my mum rang me up about a week and a half ago and said, could I knit my nephew, who is 1, could I knit him a hat? Because his hats that he'd got that I'd knit him last year weren't fitting him anymore. So I went over onto Ravelry and I wanted a nice stretchy, but obviously thick to keep his head warm and stuff, because he's out in the pram quite a lot. Excuse me. So yeah, I had a look at a few patterns, and obviously nothing really caught my fancy that I wanted to knit. It was all either patterns that I've already knit, like obviously for my son growing up. So there was like the Bankhead, which is a really good pattern. It's a play on a ribbed texture. You know, there was very, very simplified hats, but they weren't what I was looking for. So in the end, I decided to kind of not make up my own, but just kind of merge 2 patterns together to get what I wanted. So I love the look of the Violet Waffles pattern by Halidora J. And it's not a pattern I've ever knit before, and considering how easy it was, I will go and knit a full size one, maybe for myself, maybe for Ian, more likely Ian. So I have used mainly my ribbed hats that I've knit. I've used It's Grammy's hat by Tannis Fibre Arts. Her numbers that she uses for her patterns are pretty much spot on. So the toddler size was, I think it was 64 stitches, and it fits really well for like a 1 to 2 year old. So I came up with this. It's a mini waffles hat. So I used the stitch count and the measurement, like the measurement before the decreases from Grammy's hat pattern, and then I just used the patterning from the Violet Waffles and the decreases, because obviously I didn't want to start mucking around with the decreases in case it didn't work right. So I thought it's easier, because she doesn't give any counts in her decrease section, so it's not knit so many and decrease, it's just knit and decrease. But yeah, this is my nephew's, who is 1. this is his Violet Waffles hack pattern. Because it's super stretchy, and obviously because of the waffle pattern it makes it warm, so yeah, this will fit in for a good, probably till March, which is what he wants. And I used a 3.5mm for the cuff, and I used a 4mm for the waffle pattern and the decreases. And again, this is in the same grey as this. So yeah, that was my second hat that I finished. And then I've also been, even though these are technically a whip, but they are kind of finished, I've been crocheting for work. As I said, I've been crocheting poppies. So these are all going to get attached to like a big piece of string and hung around the pub. I'm also going to get some safety pins and just like whip stitch them on, so obviously you can wear it as a poppy pin. And yeah, this was just a free pattern that I found over on Ravelry. Although, have I got an earlier one? The pattern that I used, it's got like a big hole in the middle, and I didn't like how that looked. So all I did was, for this one you had to start with a chain of 6 and then crochet into that chain after you joined it together. So all I did was did a magic loop, put 6 single crochets in it, then did 2 double crochets in all around that, and then cast off in the black and just did the petals as normal. But yeah, I think they're quite sweet, and because it's for a good cause, I don't mind doing it. But yeah, I've got just a pile of poppies and ends to weave in. But yeah, I wanted to obviously film this podcast before I took these in to be decorated with. So yeah, these are living in my big flowery bag. So yeah, that is it for finished objects that I have got. Flip the page over. I have got quite a lot of whips as well. I was in kind of a rut for a while. I had 2 pairs of socks and my jumper on the needles, and then I was really bored for a while because obviously I'd done quite a lot of gift knitting and baby knitting because other obviously people had babies and things, and then I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I really don't want to knit on socks, because obviously my socks and stuff that I knit on are predominantly when I'm waiting about. So like when I finish work and I'm waiting for the bus to go home, or I'm waiting to pick my son up from school, I'll whip my socks out and start working on those. Even though I have done quite, oh, there we go, focused. So these are in my sock sack that my friend Wendy made for me during our last fibre share, and I have made quite a lot of progress on these ones. These are just my plain vanilla, well, I made progress on one of them. So I was here last time and I've done all of the leg, the heel, and about a third of the foot on this one. And then this one is the one that obviously I haven't picked up as much. I completed that much of the leg and the heel on that one. But these are, as I've said before, they've been shown on the podcast before. This is Grundle Hot Socks Uni in the colour 02, which is just a plain grey. And this is Drops Fable, which is in a colour, I don't think it's got a colour. Let's just have a look quickly. Just says long print blue, so it's just like a blue and grey mix, and obviously it's got the long, it stripes itself. But yeah, I've been taking these with me on the bus and if I have to wait anywhere. So yeah, that's that pair. And then my next pair I don't think have been seen on the podcast yet. They are on my Instagram feed if anybody goes and checks that out. These ones are living in my Nightmare Before Christmas bag. And these are, flip back to my notes. Where are we? There we go. So these are the Vanilla Latte Socks by Virginia Rose Jeans, or Jean. And these are knit. They were on my 9mm circs. On my Addy Sock Wonders, which are like 9mm circulars, and these haven't been shown on the podcast before. This is Signet Truly Woolrich in the colour Swaledale. So it's like a faux Fair Isle effect. And these ones I have knit a heel flap and gusset. Heel flap and gusset on these ones, just because that was what was in the pattern and I was being really lazy and couldn't be bothered to go and find my Fish Lips Kiss heel pattern, even though I should now know to do it off by heart. But this is just it's very similar to the Bankhead hat pattern, where you just knit so many stitches and then do like a ribbed texture, and then the next round you just knit. So this one's a knit 6 purl 2, and then the next round you knit, and it gives it like this. It's still a rib because obviously it pulls in, but it's just gives it a different texture, that's all. And I do knit them concurrently, and these are pretty much about the same length so far. I've got about another inch or so left on these before I start doing my toe decreases. And I knit all my socks exactly the same, a 64 stitch on a 2.5mm needle, although these ones are new. I treated myself to some new sock needles. So these are just the Knit Pro Novas, just the fixed circulars in the 2.5mm, because it really annoys me that Knit Pro don't do 2.5mm on interchangeables. Really annoys me, because I have a Knit Pro interchangeable set. But yeah, Vanilla Latte socks nearly done. Hopefully next episode they shall be finished. Right, and then a project that has probably taken up most, if not all, of my time. I was knitting the Flax Sweater by Tin Can Knits, and I'm going to have to scoot back a little bit because I can't get it in the camera shot, and I know I'm not going to even try. So I was knitting the Flax Pullover, which is a jumper pattern by Tin Can Knits, as I said. This is on Hayfield Bonus Aran with wool, which is just like it's an acrylic and wool blend. And I think where I was the last time, I was here where this little pink marker is. So I completed all the body and I'm about halfway down the sleeve. I'm knitting these on these are 5mm 16-inch circulars on the zings. What else was I going to say? So yeah, these are, so glad this is nearly finished, because it's cold enough now that I want to wear it. And I have already tried it on and it does fit me. And it does fit me the way I want it to fit me, which is really good. I knit the extra large size, which is a 47-inch chest. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have a very big bosom and I have a mummy tummy. So if I can hide the mummy tummy, it's always great. But yeah, I'm so pleased this is like 3/4 done. And yeah, can't wait to wear it. I'm loving how quick it is using the circulars. I was going to try and magic loop it on the sleeves, but obviously there's like decreases running up the back, so I thought it's easy just to go and buy a pair of circulars. And if anybody wonders where I bought these from, I had them off Amazon and they're like dirt cheap. They took a little while to get here because obviously I think they came from America, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's easier having all this contained on one needle instead of trying to faff about messing with magic loop. But yeah, I learnt my lesson after I'd finished. I got to about here and my first ball of yarn ran out, so I had to crack into the second ball because I'd brought two. And I learnt my lesson the first time. I pre-wound all of my yarn into cakes because of how big the ball was. Like this big, it was huge. I had to fight with it quite a lot, and it's why it's taken quite so long to knit this jumper. But yeah, I wound all of my yarn into cakes and it's just flying by now because I'm not having to fight with the yarn to try and get it out the ball. But yeah, can't wait for this to be finished. I really need it because it's so cold here in the UK at the minute. And it's very soft and squishy, and I want to finish it now. But yeah, that is it for knitting, I'm afraid. I did buy, as I said, I did have a birthday. Oh no, it's not. I tell a lie. I cast on something new. And I'm very pleased with how it's coming along. So I had finished my Lavetta shawl by Amber O'Brien a few weeks ago. So yeah, I'd finished my Amber O'Brien shawl and I wanted another one because as lovely as my shawl is, it's great in the length because it comes down here, but it's not quite enough here for me. So I wanted something a little bit different, and I'd got some yarn in my stash that I wanted to start using. So I dug out a couple of balls of yarn and I spent an afternoon browsing on Ravelry, and I brought a pattern, and it grieved me that I couldn't knit this pattern because obviously the shawl itself is beautiful, but I couldn't get my head around it, and I got that frustrated with it, I frogged it. So I had wanted to knit the First Light shawl by Vera Valimaki, which I will just grab the picture on my iPad. And it's a beautiful crescent shaped shawl with striping, and it's a beautiful pattern, but I can't do wrap and turns. I've decided I cannot do wrap and turns to save my life. So please excuse the glare, but this is obviously on my iPad. But yeah, the striping section's here. So you start here in this little tiny section and then you stripe the two colours back and forth by using wrap and turns. And I just couldn't do it. I'd completed the entire second section, the amount of repeats that it told me that I needed to do, and I was off by 100 stitches. So I frogged it, I'd had enough, and I searched on Ravelry that I wanted to find another shawl that still used two colours, because obviously I'd got two colours already caked up. So I had found, can you see that? This is If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out, the shawl, by Tina Vanderberg. And it's a triangular shaped shawl with obviously like big patterns of lace mesh. And I cast it on and then had to refrog it because I'd done the first section and I'd missed out a yarn over on every other row, so my count was off and it wasn't producing it. Obviously it didn't look right, so I frogged it and then I started again. And this time I actually paid attention to what I was doing, and I'm in the middle of a row as usual. So let me just pull my needles out. That's it. So it's going to look a bit squished because obviously it's on a little cable, but there you go. This is my start of my If I Want Exposure, I'll Get My Tits Out shawl. And my yarn, if you can see, so this creamy, it's like a natural cream colour, and it's obviously got like pink and blue and yellow and green speckles. Is from an indie dyer. Have I still got the labels? Yes, I do. I actually purchased this 2 months ago for my fibre share partner, and it's from Sweet Love Designs. I had this from over on eBay, as usual, my favourite place in the entire world. And the colourway is called Sprinkles, which is quite apt for how it looks. But yeah, there's all the lace, as you can see. And then this beautiful like dark denim-y blue is another one that I had in my stash from I'd brought a while ago, which is this one. It's looking a lot more blue than what it is. It's a lot darker in real life. But yeah, it's got like undertones of red in it. And this is Wendy Rome. It's 4-ply, 75% superwash wool. And this is in the colour 2002 Derwent. There we go. Okay. And I had this off a D-stash on Ravelry a while ago. And this, obviously, Wendy comes from, there you go, comes from Yorkshire, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from where I live, in the Midlands. But yeah, this is a beautiful sock yarn. Always, I knit my socket hat out of a different colour of this, and it's lasted so well. So yeah, this is my contrasting stripes, and obviously it's going to be my last section as well. I don't know if I'm going to put tassels on it. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying how mindless this lace is. I'm not a massive lace knitter. I have to force myself to concentrate to do it. But this is very, very simple for what it is. And this is going to be huge, I have a feeling. It's going to be a huge, huge shawl, which I'm going to love. So yeah, what was I going to say? My needles, that's it. If you're wondering, seeing as they are new ones, these are my 4.5mm Nova Platina Knit Pro ones, because I treated myself for my birthday. Speaking of acquisitions, I treated myself. It's been on my agenda for a while to get a proper interchangeable set, because what I have at the moment, this is where I keep all my knitting needles, all my interchangeables anyway. So obviously I have fixed circulars and things, and I I do have straights, but I don't use them. So obviously some of them are missing because they're on projects. But these are all Knit Pro. All these needles. These ones are cubics, symphonies, zings, the basics, which are like the birch, and carbons. So I have pretty much every single one. I've also got a pair of trends, which are the plastic ones, the acrylic ones. But Novas and Zings, the metal ones, are my favourites. They're the ones I always reach for, no matter what. So I did some damage, and I ordered myself an interchangeable set. And as you can see, my 4.5s are gone. So I haven't taken this out of the packet yet because I wanted to save it and leave it for showing it on the podcast. But this was a bargain. I mean, it was a bargain, because most interchangeable sets can set you back quite a bit of money. But I had this, it was a bargain. It was £36 off Amazon. And mostly these ones are the ones that I use, but I didn't have any big needle tips. And I've got a lot of chunky and like super bulky stuff in my stash that I want to start using. So instead of spending a £5 a time to keep purchasing these ones, keep purchasing them separately, I thought for £35, £36, I'll just buy myself a new one. And I got 4 new cords, all the bits to go with it, and it comes in this really convenient case, and I am in love with them. You do have to watch with the Novas though, because they're very, very slick. So if you're not a fast knitter, you can just go whoop and rip all your stitches off. As well as that, I did get a few crafty birthday presents off my other half, and one I had mainly money for my birthday, which is always nice because you can spend it on whatever you want. But my little boy and my partner had brought me only a few things. So my first one were these. It's just something little daft, you know, because I'm a crafter. But these are to make felted penguins, and you make them in 3 different sizes, and they're going to go on our Christmas tree for Christmas. Because obviously 3 of us. So there you go. Little bit of nonsense, but it's awesome. My next present that I had was this. Anybody that knows me, I am a massive Jamie Oliver fan. I have predominantly near enough every single cookbook that he's ever brought out. And this one, I wanted to get back into cooking again because I trained as a chef when I was at college. And this one, it goes on about more so just than recipes. It goes on about like how we can like reduce waste and be cost effective and stuff, which I am guilty of. I still don't know how to cook for 3 people because I always make too much. It always ends up in the bin, which is very, very wasteful. So this one, it takes you through doing like one main recipe and then adapting off into little recipes throughout the week and things. But it was a really good read if anybody that's interested in cooking, that wants to save some money and obviously be more ecologically friendly, shall we say. So that was another birthday present. And then my last one that I had was this one. And Erica Knight, put my teeth in. If you don't know who she is, you've been living under a rock. She's been around for ages and ages. And she's awesome. She teaches how to crochet really, really simply. And even though I know very, very well how to crochet, there's some really good patterns in here, and I'm very happy to have received it. So there we go. And then I was naughty and I spent my last little bit of birthday money on some yarn. So I had 2 more balls of Wendy Rome. This one's probably going to be a hat for me because grey is my colour. And this one, I don't know if you can see, it's like this beautiful like mossy green, and it's got really pretty undertones of like a goldy yellow. There you go. So yeah, I had these. They're dirt cheap. They're in the UK, and they're really good sock yarn for what you pay for them. As I said, probably going to be a hat, might not be, haven't decided. But yeah, so I spent a little bit of money, and then I had a Knit Global one. Knit Global, if you haven't heard of them before, she's an indie dyer who sells on eBay predominantly, and this skein of yarn, which was hand dyed, and it's a beautiful navy blue, like a deep sapphire blue, was less than £8 with the postage. And she always ships out really fast. It's really good quality wool. It's 75% merino and 25% nylon. It's in the colourway marine if you are interested, but go and check her out over on eBay. I don't know if she sells anywhere else, but I have brought her yarn before. I knit a pair of socks out of her Rose Garden colourway, which was like a pink and like a darker pink and like a taupey brown colour, and I knit my Neapolitan socks out of those. My first ever pair of socks that I knit. But yeah, Knit Global. Oh, she has got a website, sorry, tell a lie, knitglobal.com. But I've always found her over on eBay, and for what you get, it's really, really good value for money. So yeah, apart from that, I have lots of inspiration to cast on things. I spent a nice afternoon updating all my Ravelry, and there's a fair few patterns that I want to cast on next, but I must finish my jumper, and I've got to finish that shawl before I can even think about casting anything else on. But yeah, apart from that, thank you all very much for watching. I hope that I haven't rambled too much. Please feel free to subscribe down below and leave a comment if you are, with any ideas that you'd like to see upcoming on this podcast. As I said, I do want to try and start a knit along soon. Haven't decided what yet, because there's a lot of knit alongs going on at the minute, so I'm thinking maybe January, like a January stash busting kind of thing. If that's something that you would like to join in with, please, as I say, follow me down below. Come and join the Ravelry group over on Ravelry. Great English, Kate, well done. You can't tell that I did double GCSE English, could you, really? But yeah, please come and join us over on Ravelry in the Crafty Maker podcast group, and leave me any suggestions that you want to see. I do want to start doing a monthly favourites maybe kind of video, where I just go through some of the things that I have been loving throughout the month. I am an avid reader. If anybody wants to know what I'm reading or the music that I listen to, if you have any questions for me really, please don't hesitate to ask. Come and send me a message over on Ravelry or over on Instagram. I do tend to try and reply as quickly as I can. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.